It's been a long time since I last logged on to the FoolCraft server, peeps. And I've grown an afro. Oh dear. I need to have a shave. Welcome back to another episode of FoolCraft. And you know what? Every episode I do lately, I get tons of comments from people saying that they love the hat intros and I should do them every episode. You can let me know by supporting the series and leaving a like on the video. If I see lots of those likes, then I know that's what people like, and I'll keep doing the hat intros, which is cool because I like doing them. Let me show you what I've been up to, though. We're gonna pop down here. So we had a problem with this colossal chest backing up and filling up all the way, but you can see we have solved that problem by exporting even more items. There is a whole network of stuff here getting exported, and I'll explain that in a little bit more detail later on because I'm going to show you where all those items are going to. Now over here, what I've set up is an item filter over on this side, right? We're exporting all of the loot bags and the artifact bags, but not the pet bags, and you can see that we've got loads of those. So we're going to add that to the filter now because I didn't have one at the time, and all of those will get opened. We'll get loads of new pets, which will be really cool. We may be even able to see some of them in here. Now they're getting extracted straight away, basically. And we've also got a Fool's bag, which we're going to open in just a moment. Let's go over here and check out some of the pets. Have we got any new ones? I like to come in here and scan from time to time. We've got this thing, Loot Pet. Bonus drops from mobs and mining. That sounds pretty cool, although we're not going to really be doing either of those things in this episode. Is that one black hole pet? Have we tried that out? I think I'll go grab an obsidian nugget and we'll go somewhere a little bit safer than my base, because we might be making a black hole, peeps. This is our usual spot for causing problems, and there's a load of baddies here as well, which is just perfect. Let's check out the black hole. Did it even do anything? Wait, the arrows are now messing up. I don't know. Are we supposed to see something? I right-clicked it again. The arrows are still freaking out. All the mobs are standing still. They're not able to come near me. That is fascinating. What about you fellas over here? Are you alright? Are you healthy? You all appear to be standing still as well. Strange stuff. Strange stuff. I found this little fella roaming around in the base earlier. He's cute and adorable. And I gotta say, I like his company. Copper Mini-Moo. I think the fluids cows have been replaced with Mini-Moos. If we just pop our heads over here, you can see that these are different. Now, this is Fool's project, and Fool's is on holiday at the moment, so I know she ain't been on here changing things around. The pack has updated to 2.3.1, and I had to reinstall the pack, and everything seems to be working just fine, which is fantastic. Let's pop down below, because a moment ago, I mentioned something. Look at this. This stuff, global. I think it might be this thing. It might glow. Something is glowing and dropping those little things around everywhere. Anyway, let's go below because I mentioned that the items in our colossal chest were going somewhere. I've set up all of these frame drawers over here. They all have upgrades, as you can see, storage and void upgrades, and now all of those items get automatically exported here, and it's part of our system. So that means the colossal chest doesn't fill up, and if ever we get too much of a particular item, it is going to get voided. And I'm actually kind of curious as to how much these store in total. 26.6k, that seems to be the highest of all the things over here. What about over on this side? 26.6k. If we keep seeing that number, that might suggest that that is the most they hold in this formation. There you go, 26.6k, and another one. Yeah, I think that's the limit. I think that's the limit right there. And another one with 26.6k. Okay, I think that probably confirms it, right? I'm also noticing at the top of my screen, that box is massive, and it's kind of annoying me, and now I've realised that where I've updated, I need to reset the Whalia, which is what that thing is called. Alright, and as you can see, we've also gone here and added a few more things. I crafted up a whole bunch of seeds during my live stream. I won't go into too much detail, but there's a couple of rows somewhere around here, and we've added all of these different things like mithril, invar, tin, lead and bronze, and steel and platinum. They're basically all metals, aren't they? If we come around to the back here, this filter, no, sorry, not that one. This one over on this side is something that I would like to show you. Oh, yes, it is, because it is a special filter. Let's break that temporarily and open this out, take out the filter, and I'll show you the contents of this filter. It's more filters. So when I fill these up, I then drop them into this filter, and that actually works. It means this one will use basically the lists there. So we are doing 48 items in total from one filter, which is pretty cool. and something that I wanted to show you. Now, when we put that back, yeah, no surprise, it's filled up with essences again. So this episode, we are going to be heading to the end to create a farm. I've got some items in my inventory. This is going to be a dragon egg farm. And you know what? Most important item of all would be to bring a dragon egg or two with me. I left on, which is good because we're going to be duplicating it to farm it. Now, I had a lot of comments last episode about how I should just use a mod called Woot. Yes, Woot. And we actually used Woot last season, and I didn't find it to be particularly interesting. It's the sort of mod where you just craft stuff, place blocks in a pre-designated way, and then you're farming stuff. I want to do things differently this season, okay? I want to have fun. I want to use a vanilla mechanic. There is a dragon egg duplicator that I actually made a tutorial on for 1.10, and we are in 1.10 even though it's modded. So we've got to head all the way over there to the end, which we went to in the last episode, right? And we'll set up the farm over there. But before we go, I know you've been waiting for it. It's time to open that fool's bag. Are you ready for it? What on earth could it be? It is something I haven't seen before. The demonic metal. That sounds amazing. What is it called? Let's open it here. Demonic metal, material unknown name, Enderum Shuriken. Oh, it just flows off the tongue, doesn't it? Oh, I threw one. I wanted to look at it actually. So it's got whispering, it's got portable, it's got things that are hidden behind the other things. That is kind of mental. But attack damage 144. This thing. Which one are we looking at again? There's actually multiple ones usually. Attack 144. This one has attack 7992. By the way, I've actually been getting a few of these fool's bags coming through, and they've been automatically opening. I've also got 2 Choppy McChop faces, not to be confused with the ones I gave to Fulsome Beef. They still have those, but both of them are on holiday at the moment, which is why there hasn't been a Fool's meeting in a while. But I like this. We've got another weapon. That's really cool, and we're going to be farming more fool's bags in the future, of course. Oh, this room looks so bland and ugly. I ripped out all of the blocks to make it look a little cleaner. It doesn't look particularly great. I also put down the mega torch on top of the spawner. It doesn't stop the silverfish spawning from the spawner, so that's the thing. And then I've gone and built the redstone contraption. I had to watch my own tutorial to do this. So this is all of the vanilla redstone right here. And this means you can drop the dragon eggs in and they'll duplicate on the other side. Now where we're going to change things is here. With a mechanical user, we're going to automate that dropping process. So we need to set this thing up to activate with redstone. Maybe a redstone pulse would be the best setting. And then it's going to be a place block, right click on upper left only. So we're going to fill up the rest of the slots with these things. And I will put a dragon egg there, but as of right now we're still setting things up. So we're going to have a timer that points into that. And I believe we can... that's not the right thing. That won't do what I want. So I need to go and get the correct thing. It's called something different, obviously. And then that'll send a pulse every second or so, and it will keep placing the dragon eggs, which will activate the redstone and send it through. Then it's on the other side that we use some more modded blocks to automate this. This is getting kind of exciting now. I can't wait to see this in action. So I've already set up this sequencer, and the way that you place this one is not the way the player's facing, it's where you click on the side of the block, right? We want it to point in that direction, so we're going to click there, and this thing will pulse every so often, which we can't actually see in action yet. Let's see if we can duplicate some dragon eggs, and that's not going to work until we have... Well, I was going to say a block the other side, but actually it can place them like that. And that is possibly set up correctly and possibly duplicating them. Now the trick is the duplicated ones are going to be on the other side, right? So what we're going to do is set up an ender chest exclusively for these, and then we're going to create a conduit to put them back into there. So this one needs to be always active extract. That one needs to be on insert, and you know where we're going with this. It's going to be so awesome. So let's go through here. Okay, a little bit of lag for loading. You know how it goes. Oh, it looks like a silverfish came... Hi. Jeez. We need something like a slab or a torch. Oh, we've got a redstone torch. Well, we'll put that in the middle of this room to stop that from happening again. And that's right. That'll be a thing. We've got 7 and 1 just teleported away. So all of those duplicated. I've got a big smile on my face, okay? And an afro on my head. I didn't shave. I'm sorry. This is so going to work. I love it. Right. And this thing will produce really fast as well. We've got to think about how often we want this running around the clock. So if I go and put you on top of that and configure it to look downwards for items, then it's going to pick up the dragon eggs and they're going to go into there, right? So now what we got to do is head back and place those dragon eggs again, and it should be automated bar chunk loading, which is something we're going to look at now. So through the portal we go, the end. Yay, we got the achievement. Shouldn't I have got that already? I mean, we did do a bunch of dragon slaying last episode, and nothing would have come through here yet. So let's simulate it. You know, it picks it up on the other side. They come through here. This thing's going to get a pulse, right? Yes. Okay, now they're going to go through. And chunk loading, that's the other thing. So we want this to be loaded, and what would you know, it is all on a chunk border. I was going to build a chunk loader itself, but you can use one to make 10 spot loaders, so I figured, well, we could do the exact thing. So if we put those there, they're going to be loaded permanently. So this entire contraption is now going to be loaded round the clock. And is it me, or has it dropped more than 7? Oh, it could be that it's loading it enough on the other side for it to come back through again. It looks like that's what's happening. We'll make sure the whole thing is loaded over on that side as well. That is a very strange and worrying sight. I don't think the end has loaded correctly for me. You can't even see me. I'm in F5. You can't even see me. It's much later in the day now. I still haven't had that shave, and I deleted a bunch of recording because this just kind of led me into a dead end for a while. And after several hours trying lots of different things and playing around, I finally got this to a point where it works. But in order for this to work, we have to be here. If we go up top, you'll see that this ender chest is slowly filling up. I could have swore I checked that just a second ago and there was only one stack in here. Whatever, I don't mind if they're coming in faster than they should be. But here's the problem. If we leave this area, when this is running, it is going to break and stop working. Okay, I've tried using chunk loaders and spot loaders as well. Initially, I thought that the spot loaders were behaving differently from the chunk loader, but after many trips through the end, back to the base, over here again, back and forth, I've finally sussed out that basically you can't leave this running. You have to turn it off, so you've got to babysit it to use it. It's still an automatic farm, and remember, we need these for growth crystals, so we've already probably got more than we'll ever need. Now, I crafted something over here. I've actually left it here since I was last in the area. This thing right here, the redstone receiver, we're going to get rid of that. That was sending a signal from our base. I had a transmitter. I was going to be able to turn it off wirelessly. Or sorry, turn it on. Now we're just going to have to come over here and hit this. I might even make it a pressure plate, like you've got to stand there. So when you leave, it gets turned off, right? Because as soon as I go through that end portal, this thing is going to break and it is going to stop duplicating dragon eggs. Now I'm going to leave this running for just a little bit longer, get a couple more stacks, and then we'll pop through to the end and I'll show you what's going on over there. This is what the end now looks like. You can see there's no longer a dragon egg in the middle. That seems to be true ever since I added this chunk loader. They seem to just drop through as items, and then they get picked up by this vacuum chest, which sends them across to the ender chest. So I had to stop using the absorption hopper because at some point it seemed to become unreliable, and it wouldn't pick up 2 of the dragon eggs. It would only pick up 1 at a time, and it wouldn't duplicate them, which was really strange stuff. But anyway, it works, and we got plenty of dragon eggs. Remember, peeps, we're chasing down the growth crystals, which means we need nether stars. And the way to do that is with some dual wielding of Choppy McChopface. But we're not going to be dual wielding. We're going to be using a farm that'll use both of these, right? They're unbreakable weapons that do immense amounts of damage. They can help us kill some withers. And in front of me, you'll see that I have set up some ender chests. We've got our wither skeleton skulls in here, our soul sand in there, and we want to end up with loads of nether stars in here getting automatically imported into our system, which is exporting those things, right? So over here I've added some exporter buses. I think it's the first time I've used it with this mod. So we've got one of those on that side. They've got some acceleration cards and they're putting them into the ender chests. So we've got the materials that we need. I've got a bunch of stuff in my inventory as well, and we've already got a place where I've been fighting the withers, so we're going to head over there and convert that thing into an automatic farm. So here it is. You know, what I could do right now is hit this switch and give this thing a test, but we're going to wait. We're also going to open a fool's bag after we've got this thing running. I got another one of those. I love it. We're getting about one every 1 to 2 days, which is pretty cool. And this farm may look very similar. That's because it's pretty much the same as one I've built in the past on Sky Factory, and I think I built it in Hermit Pack as well. I couldn't come up with another design for this stuff. I don't know the mods well enough to know what other blocks I could use, right? So this is an amalgamation of a few different blocks I'm aware of and getting them to basically make a wither farm. If those bats come any nearer to me, I'm sick of their squeaking. Why'd you have to spawn over here? You're so annoying. So let's go through the farm. Let's start off with this ender tank over here. That's for collecting XP. This XP vacuum doesn't have an interface, so I don't know that it's actually going to be moving the XP into the ender tank, but that's how I've done it in the past. Over here we have a vacuum chest to pick up the nether stars and other items that drop from the wither. And I did set up just a chest for nether stars, but I changed it over to a general import chest, so occasionally you see other items flying through here. So that's been set up on the white channel. You can see it's got the insert there. The other two ender chests do the other two types of items. They're filled up with sticks. So here what we have is a channel that's brown, and it only takes out soul sand. This one is black. They basically match the colors of those, right? So these inserts over here into the dispensers are black, so they get all of the wither skulls, and then these ones here, which you can't quite see, are brown, so the mechanical users get these, and they've been set up to activate on a redstone pulse, and they've all got lots of soul sand. So this thing over here is basically going to send out, like, you know, 2 pulses, one after the other, and it'll only do it when a redstone signal is going into it. And this is my transmitter, so of course I can move this somewhere else. So when we hit that, it's going to start sending pulses, which go through these redstone conduits. They go through a delay from this repeater, and then they go and they activate the dispensers. Now the withers are going to form on top of this block. They'll be trapped inside of the reinforced obsidian, and they won't be able to blow anything up. They'll be stuck there. We can have loads of them spawning together. And what we've got to do now, and have I set this up properly? Use item, left click, upper left slot only. I might as well just block off everything else in case there's a way for that to go wrong. So that's now using Choppy McChopface, and I don't want to stand in front of it. I don't want to be a test dummy here because I could, you know, get hurt. And I'm hoping it'll actually hit the withers. There is a chance it won't actually do that. So let's go ahead and let's see what happens when I hit this switch. Now I'm only going to spawn a couple. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3. Oh, it kind of looks like they're over to the side here a little bit. I might have to kill them myself, and everything could get blown up. Please, please. No, you've escaped. Oh, and it's all been blown up. It's all gone. I made a mistake. I'm very sorry. That was a lot of time and effort that's just disappeared. Oh, this is so bad. How did I get that wrong? I copied the old design. Oh, perfectly, I thought. Oh, it has literally just all been destroyed, including Choppy McChopface. Oh! Why did I spawn 3 at once? Why not one first on its own? Oh, we got both Choppies back. Okay, that's not quite as bad. We can replace everything else. And while we slowly wither away here, peeps, let's open our Fools bag. I'm hoping this will be good. It's another one of those. That's alright. Oh, I got to build that all over again. Everything is currently very fresh in the mind, so I don't think it's actually going to take me that long to rebuild this. And I'm not going to set it up this time all the way. I mean, the things that I've just placed down are pretty easily replaceable. What I'd like to do is just run a quick test. And the way I remember it is that the wither will basically appear central to where the feet are, right? Let's imagine that that's the feet, because that's the final block. Do you know what? I'm going to get the materials to spawn one from down here. Then it's above that where its feet is that it's going to spawn. Now this is not aligned around that. I've kind of copied this from the video of Sky Factory 3, just trying to eyeball it, and obviously I've got that wrong, but I was so dead sure this was the way it was aligned up. So what we're going to do is, rather than remove the blocks at the back and move them over here, is we'll have that as well. There's actually 2 important blocks that I've forgotten about here, so it could be that I'm wrong, and the reason that they spawned over a little bit is because somehow these blocks here maybe interfere with it, but I don't think it's that. Because when we do this in vanilla, I remember specifically, always where the feet of the wither is where your little cage above needs to be. By the way, it's also morning, so I've got a little bit of morning voice going on, if you couldn't tell. Oh, it's too stressful for this time of day, I tell you. I've just woken up. But there we go. It looks like it's trapped this time, and what I should have done is maybe actually move that over by 1. Let's pick this thing up before it spawns, and then let's just stand back and see how it behaves. Right, so it's trapped, it's shooting, but it can't blow anything up. Let's put that there. Let's put Choppy McChopface in before it... Where's Choppy McChopface? You're in my backpack. Okay, in you go. Use item on block, activate. I don't know which one it's supposed to be. Use item. Left click. Upper left. Always active. Is this thing taking damage? Doesn't look like it, does it? It ain't taking damage at all. That's not working. Okay, next experiment. We've put a mechanical user up the top here facing downwards. It's above the head of the wither, or where the wither's head is going to be. However, what you usually do when you're not in a room like this is you put this 3x3 grid of blocks and then an additional block right there, and that one is usually a wither resistant block. I'm not sure if it's essential, if this means the wither can blow that block up, but we're just going to have to try and find out, right? And if this doesn't work, then I'm going to have to look into alternative ways of damaging the wither, and I've really got not a clue on where to start with that. And there it is, a wither. Now we've got to wait. It always takes a while. This makes me slightly nervous. Choppy McChopface might get blown up, but it'll be worth it for science. Okay, are you getting attacked? Doesn't look like it, does it? And I am wondering, is Choppy McChopface actually able to hit that guy? Or is this not actually working the way we want it to? You know, use item on block. It should be use item. I'm assuming that's what it would be. Use entity. Oh, and then it worked. Okay. Alright, so I had it set up wrong. Well, considering that I think that's supposed to be a obsidian block or something that the wither can't break, I think we should try that again with it on the side. The wither's in there, the wither is currently invulnerable, and there are 2 Choppy McChopfaces set to entity. And they can't hit it from either side. Okay, good to know. Also, what's up with those tigers? You got a tiger hat, I'd like that. Well, we're going to put the mechanical user up top to make this farm work. We've made 2 farms this episode, and both of them require babysitting. Although this one I can say is just because we need a redstone circuit to activate this transmitter. And I had a look for all the different mods that are in this mod pack, and it didn't really feel like there was anything too much that encroached into redstone's territory, you know, things that we could use beyond some of these RF tool blocks to help us make a redstone circuit. If you know of any stuff in the pack, you know what to do. Leave a comment down below, let X know, because I basically need to make a timer that's going to be off for a long time and then it's going to turn on for a short amount of time. And let's actually look at the sequencer over here. This is what we're running on a 1-tick delay, and you'll see that it makes the wither most of the time, right? But on occasions the soul sand kind of sticks around for a little bit longer, and I think that's because it misses it. So this will make about 11 or 12 withers, and then the first one will blow up. And when that happens, you can no longer make more because the soul sand is getting blown up. And then it takes a very long time to kill all of the withers because Choppy McChopface ain't the fastest thing in the world. There might be something else in the pack that does that faster. I wonder if there's an autonomous, if I could ever spell that word, autonomous activator? It might be in the pack. I don't see the block that looks like it, no. But maybe something that could do the same thing but faster. Because as you can see, they're all sort of damaging each other. And Choppy's not really making a big difference. There's another one going down. Oh, and actually it looks like he's getting through them eventually. It's probably because I've been standing around babysitting this thing that I've been a little bit impatient with it, right? So that redstone timer that I was on about, it would now, roughly around here, then go and send another pulse through to this thing, and another 12 would activate, which means we can leave it running around the clock, although we haven't really gotten into making sure there's always enough soul sand or wither skulls, but, you know, that's something for another day. And speaking of the wither skulls, we need to increase the rates at which we're growing stuff down here, right? Check this out. I've got 12 growth crystals, and of course I've got all the dragon eggs I need, and we're going to go and attach another 3 to each of these, which means I think they're going to have 5 each, and they need to be stacked downwards like this, I think is how it works. So 1, 2, 3. I don't know if it's then going to need space around it to sort of like look up and actually help the crops above. I think I just discovered a unique property of the growth crystal. So watch what happens when I put water there and then block this off. The water that was touching it has now become source block on either side, although they're not creating another source block here, which suggests they're not actually a source block. And it goes away when you get rid of the growth crystal. That is interesting. Better safe than sorry is how the saying goes, so in case these blocks somehow interfere with the growth crystal, looking up here, cleared it out around them on all sides. So now each of these have 5 tier 3. Surely that's going to make a difference. I see a lot of activity going on there. Does feel like things are growing fast, but maybe we need even more. Doesn't it tell us? Let's go to growth crystal. Doesn't it tell us how many of these can be stacked up by? Works in 9 by 9 area, checks up to 10 blocks up or down. Oh, so we could actually put things above as well as below. Maybe something like 18 in total, I'm not sure. Going to have to look into that. So maybe what we need to do in the future is remove these cables and replace them with something else so we can have growth crystals above as well. Eventually it hit me on how to do the redstone. Thank goodness, it's all doable with survival. I mean, it always is, but I couldn't think of something simple in my mind until I thought about this signal decay clock again, which is basically a pulse extender, and it just so happens that this right here is about 11 seconds, which is the same amount of time we can have the soul sand and wither skeleton skulls going in before the first wither forms and starts blowing those up, so no more withers can appear. So that has to be on for 11 seconds because that just passes the signal through the wall into the sequencer, and then after 11 seconds it needs to be off. So the way that we achieve that is by having these 2 torches turn on here. This repeater just extends the initial pulse so it can go all the way around this circuit, and then those turn off again. I've also figured out that this thing needs just over a minute to go through all of the withers that are spawned and kill them, and this right here, 2.5 stacks equals about, I think, 1 minute and 10 seconds. And so we've got a receiver pointing into here. This will lock the thing in a permanent off state, and then when we activate it, it will actually turn it on straight away as well, which is pretty cool. So if I'm on my base with the transmitter, so this thing isn't here, it's in my base, I can flick the lever, and what we should see happen... Why didn't that do anything? Oh, it's this thing again. Okay, so we've turned it off, but it takes a while for the redstone to get updated. Maybe I have to update it. This is something I noticed a moment ago. There you go. Yeah, there's going to be an update issue with that. Well, actually, the issue is it's probably not pointing directly into it. I've pointed it into the block, and it will actually not work if I point it directly into it, because it's going to change the direction of the redstone. Oh, that is unfortunate. Yeah, now that won't work with this bit here. Huh. There are some sound mufflers in here, by the way, which is why they're not as noisy as they have been before. And it all works, okay? I put a couple of these spot loaders back over here to make sure that the redstone is always loaded if we're in another area. And then to combat the problem with this thing not providing an update to the redstone because it powers the block, I've just got a hopper here with an item going back and forth, and that gives it the update, which is pretty cool. And then the other thing I had to do was adjust the amount of cobblestone in here. It needed less than 2.5 stacks, but what I initially did is I counted it going in from one hopper to the other, and of course every time this gets activated they go across and they come back again. So now there's like a stack and a bit in total in there, I think, and this thing's working perfect. So as the wither ends, we'll see a few blocks later that it'll activate again. Here we go. Bam, there it is, perfect. Alright, I think it's time for me to do an AFK session. I need to go to the gym, I need to work out, and then I've got to eat, and so I can leave this thing running for a couple of hours. 398 nether stars, 44 compressed nether star blocks. You might be thinking, what a success, Xisuma. That farm you made was pretty good. Well, you know me, something always goes wrong, right? So I come back here, and not much is happening. I fly in this direction and I see loads of wither bars appearing, and they've all got full health, which is a very bad sign. And when I come down here, oh, it's the wrong one. What would you know? Everything is gone and all the withers are loose. So they managed to escape this thing. I'm guessing it was the block above since the mechanical user was destroyed. And we got our Choppy McChopface. This thing doesn't despawn, and it doesn't get blown up by blast damage either. So it was lying around on the floor, and there were loads of withers that killed them all. Yeah, I mean, I want to get this farm working, and we're going to have to build it over again from scratch. And I think this is where we're going to end today's episode. It's good and bad on both projects, right? Nothing worked out quite like I wanted. But anyway, if you've enjoyed the episode, leave a like. As always, thank you for the support, and I'll see you in the next one. So ciao for now. Bye-bye.